Welcome to Blue Collar Compendium. We'll start this episode off with the major movements that I did. And the first was finding this shed. I found this shed on closeout at my local Lowe's and I made them an offer and they took it. Since the shed was on closeout, I had to organize my own delivery. So I called a local recovery business which could easily fit me in the next day. Next, I bought another 18 yards of 3/4 inch Valley granite to fill in this spot here. And then I set about to leveling everything out. As you can see, it was a tough chore for Little Red to do because it's really not made to do that. But I managed and I had to back up a couple times and get running starts at it. But once I was moving, I had enough to at least smooth things out. Once I got the gravel down, my next task was to take out this front flower bed. It was a bit of an eyesore as it required a lot of maintenance, and it was also difficult to drive around, pulling my vehicles from my front yard to my backyard. So, borrowed a tractor from my father-in-law and started to clean it up. I've run equipment before, lighter stuff similar to this Kubota, so I was familiar with running the front end loader. However, I forgot like how long it takes just to kind of learn the machine. Uh, Things I had difficulty with are keeping the front blade level as I'm trying to scoop up the dirt and not let it dig in too much. As if it does dig in too much, then it causes unnecessary bumps that I have to come in and fill in later with the bucket or grade out as best as I can, which is for me difficult with only a front end blade to work with, especially when it has those ripper teeth in the front as well. I I didn't anticipate that being as difficult as it actually was. I just remember it being a lot easier when I had done it years ago. But despite my own shortcomings, I was able to get the entire thing graded and ready to receive some grass seed and mat within one day. So I'm pretty proud of that. If I was going to do it again, I probably would have gotten some topsoil to put down before I seeded and before I put this mat down. I will say that a sustained is definitely putting this mat down as it helps hold in the moisture into the soil. Here you can see me grading out the gravel in the back and then also using the tractor itself to compact all the gravel. And it looks like I'm going fast and dangerous, but the video is just sped up. I had the kids with me. I like to include them on everything I do. It's something my dad always did, and something that I remember as a fun memory. So anytime I can, I always put them on the tractor, safely, of course. Here you can see me loading up all the old dirt and refuse that I had collected over the year into the back of a dump trailer, which I borrowed from a buddy. And I couldn't have done it without the tractor and without this dump trailer. So I really appreciate being having the ability to borrow both of them. Despite the dump trailer being loaded to the gills and being real heavy, I'm also fortunate to have a local dump very, very close to my house. It's less than 5 miles away. So, despite being more loaded than I wanted to be, it was a very short trip, and the lady there was very kind to help me out. One of the last things I had to get to for this project was putting in the raised beds of the garden. If you remember my picture, I had an idea for about a foot tall raised sections that would be very long. And I actually found this more difficult than it needed to be, only because the dirt pile which I had placed was in the way of where I needed to put the soil. So it took a lot longer and some finagling to get everything straight. And in the end, they weren't completely straight, which is kind of hurting my OCD. But in the end, I was able to get them straight enough so that uh, it was easy to work around. And as you can see, I had the kids with me on this as much as I could. It's difficult to keep them both sitting in the lap and also continue to work, but I managed and the kids loved it. And before you comment on it, both my kids were wearing hearing protection so that I could keep them safe. And once I got the major movements done, I took my landscaping rake out and then shaped the rest of the beds by hand, which made it a lot easier. And I was able to clean up some of the inaccuracies I created with the Kubota. And as we walk around the beds, you'll see some of the inaccuracies I talked about. However, you can see why I also kept this dirt. It was very, very good topsoil for what it was. Normally, I don't find nice topsoil in the backyard of a house, but this stuff was really decent. So I didn't have to add any other topsoil or uh, potting soil mixed to this. So I was pretty pleased with how this stuff came out, and all it needs is water.
All right, so here's my garden. I got two long rows that I built. One of them's a little bit fatter than the other, and one of them's a little straighter than the other, but that's okay. I haven't really thought about exactly what I'm going to put where, but I know I wanted two long rows in order to put things in. And then I'm going to put a drip line to the other hookup, which you guys saw in another video. So yeah, so that's the garden complete. Now we're going to hook up the drip line to it and get ready to plant. Well, plant in about a month when it warms enough.